annoying. We were once in a decent upward trend. And just like that, one of the biggest hacks in crypto history happens. And just like that, we've been punished again and so on. It's really frustrating. It's really tough. Every time it looks a little better again, especially with the altcoins, it looks a bit better again. And then something else comes up in between. But friend, I'll tell you right away why that's not such a bad thing and why, in my eyes, it's probably even a positive thing. We'll talk about that in a moment. First, we'll talk about Bitcoin. And here too, we're of course well corrected. But we're still in the range, and as long as we're in here, we just have to wait for the next move, whether we'll break down sustainably or break up sustainably. Those are very crucial things. It would actually be important for the bullish momentum that we close above $105,000. And after that, in my opinion, we should aim for new all-time highs. But we're still in an upward trend. Everything is still completely intact. Of course, we also had a nice one yesterday. Liquidity has been harvested. Up here, we harvested some liquidity and then went back down. And down here, we harvested liquidity again and then went back up. And the thing is, this move we've seen with Bitcoin here, I perfectly anticipated that weeks ago. That's our VIP trading group. And here I've presented two scenarios to you. And in the first scenario, I showed you we'll probably go below here once. In the range of $94,000 to $93,000, we pick up liquidity and then rise in the range between $98,000 and $99,000. And that's exactly how it happened. Here, I posted on the 18th. I posted that in February, and yesterday I closed the trade completely. Just take a look at this. Opened the trade here at 94,000, closed it at 99,000, 160% profit. And that's exactly the move with Bitcoin that I anticipated. And even if you want to see in the future how and when I trade and what moves I expect next with Bitcoin and the altcoins, if you want to maybe buy in somewhere, definitely check out the VIP trading group. It's completely free. Everything about it is in the description. So let's just talk about the hack that happened yesterday. Because yesterday, $1.5 billion in Ethereum were hacked at Bybit. They were hacked from the Bybit wallet. Bybit had actually set that aside as a reserve, and it got hacked away. That's why there are, of course, some people who think Bybit is going to go bankrupt. I hope they can handle 1.5 billion. It would definitely be very bad if Bybit were to go under now. It's really not nice, but I'm going to show you now why this is actually good. Because it has already been announced that Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, will probably just ban these $1.5 billion from the system. The Ethereum Foundation can theoretically halt the blockchain whenever and however they want. And they can theoretically ban these $1.5 billion in Ethereum so that you can't even transfer them anymore. If you do that, you would basically have this $1.5 billion in Ethereum burned away, which is really positive. And on the other side, we see Bybit gradually buying up Ethereum with their stablecoins. So check out what I mean. Theoretically, this hack would have $1.5 billion in Ethereum burned away. Bybit, right, has to buy back this Ethereum with stablecoins, and that creates a win-win situation for us. So we would have a little burn mechanism here, and in the long run, that's probably even a positive thing. Even though it sounds a bit dirty, it's probably actually a little positive. The sad thing is the hack that happened yesterday was by Lazarus. That's a North Korean hacker group that is also partially funded by the North Korean government. So in the end, the North Korean government hacked us yesterday and caused the crypto market to dump. It's really absolutely crazy what kind of times we live in these days. Well, that was it about the hack and so on. As I said, in the long run, it's probably not that bad. Bybit will definitely be able to handle it. That would be the worst case because they wouldn't be able to handle it and would go bankrupt here. Then it would really be over. As long as they keep buying up this Ethereum, everything is actually in good shape. There are already positive news regarding the FTX repayments, because there are the first people who have finally received their money back from FTX after more than 2.5 years. And that's very positive, because that's probably also the reason why we've seen a nice rise in altcoins in the last few days. Probably because the FTX repayments have really taken place here, and people are slowly coming back into the altcoin market. And because the money that is being paid out from FTX, I'm sure of it, that's more likely to flow into the altcoins than into Bitcoin. And take a look at this, what the CEO of Binance posted. Either you buy Bitcoin now before the US government, or you buy Bitcoins when the US government has also bought Bitcoins by then. And that's just how it is. Donald Trump recently talked about how they will continue to push Bitcoin. They are still aggressively entering the crypto market. This is especially interesting because he also announced that his government would return 20% of all Dodge savings to US taxpayers, which would obviously provide a massive financial boost to people in the US. This money would also potentially flow back into the crypto market because it's clear that American citizens are currently suffering greatly from inflation. That would be very, very important. It would really pump fresh capital into the economy. I think stocks and crypto would benefit massively from that. Especially with regard to Bitcoin, things are starting to get very interesting when we actually see that the US government is buying into it. Because look at this here. In white, we see the Bitcoin price, and in blue, the Bitcoin supply, which is gradually going down, and especially in the last weeks and months, it has dropped significantly. We have fewer and fewer Bitcoins on the exchanges. We've gone from 3.4 million Bitcoins down to just 2.5 million Bitcoins sitting on the exchanges. And this trend will continue. That's intense because we could experience this supply shock, so to speak. Having fewer and fewer Bitcoins on the exchanges means that if the supply just stays the same, we will start to see massively rising Bitcoin prices. These are actually extremely positive things, because we are now also seeing that Abu Dhabi has announced over $460 million in Bitcoin for the state fund. It's extremely intense. Now states like Abu Dhabi are buying Bitcoin. 460 million might not be a huge amount, but it's a massive start. And believe me, more and more states will follow. You can already see it. Norway has announced that it will also invest in MicroStrategy, and Canada is getting into Bitcoin as well. It's getting really exciting right now. Regarding altcoins, I think the next few weeks could also be interesting because, in comparison, January was actually pretty good, but especially February and March have been very good for Bitcoin. And for altcoins, right now, February isn't looking too great. We're still stagnating. But I think the end of February will be interesting, and March is usually very good for Bitcoin, but also for the crypto market in general. I believe these 2 months will be interesting. You shouldn't underestimate them. There were also months where April and May performed extremely well, even when January and February weren't that great. So definitely keep your eyes open, friends. The next few weeks are going to be really interesting because in terms of altcoins, I think this chart here is quite telling. Look at this. Usually at the beginning of January, things don't look so good until we're about halfway through the first quarter, and then the altcoins start to perform slowly. And right now, to be honest, it looks like this chart is completely accurate. Look at this. We were at Ethereum at times around $2,400, and that was right here in February, and accordingly, we've slowly built it back up. I think this is a good chart that can be applied to altcoins these days. Towards April, we should definitely see some really nice prices for the altcoins. That would at least really be the last hope for the altcoins. If we don't see that, then I don't necessarily think that July or so will be good for the altcoins. I think around April at the latest, we should definitely be in a much better position with the altcoins because time is kind of running out for us. In the peak summer months, June and July, there's usually not much happening in the crypto market and the stock sector. Actually, these are more negative months, and that's why I say the next few weeks will reveal whether we will really see this altcoin season that we all hope for, or if it might not happen this time, or if we'll see it more towards the end of the year. And at this point, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Give the video a like, leave a comment, and then I'd say see you next time, friends. Hi.